There are a lot of Python modules, and it's not always clear which one to use. In this video, I'll show you some great modules for building automation scripts. And at the end, I'll share a special one that helps with live updates. First module is pathlib module. So from pathlib, I will import path. This module is great for automation because when we automate something, we usually want to store it in some file or in some folder or create some files and folders. And that means we're going to use paths. And this module is the best when working with paths. It makes it much easier. For example, if I have a folder like this, and as you can see, I have a lot of different file types, and I want to get all the names of my PDF files inside this folder. I can create a script like this for file in path, and here I need to pass the path. If I write dot, this means current folder. And if I write globe, I can find exactly what kind of file I want. For example, I want, if I write star, that means as many characters as I want, and write dot PDF means if it ends with PDF. So here I will find all of the files that are PDFs, and I can print their names. File.name. Let's run the code to see if I actually found all the PDFs. And as you can see, I found only PDFs. You have to trust me that these are the only PDFs that I have in my folder, because I have a lot of files and I don't want to prove this to you now. But maybe you don't only want to work with those paths, maybe you want to update your folders or files. In that case, the best module is shutil module. So I will import shutil module. And let's say I want to back up my txt folder. And this txt folder has 5 txt files. So to do that, I will call my shutil and then call copy tree. This means copy everything, files, folders, everything that is inside that folder. And then here I need to pass the path, but because I have these backslashes, I have to write double backslash to ensure nothing special, no special characters are used. And afterwards, I need to pass that folder that I want to create and store all of my contents from this folder. Let's call it txt's backup. And I can also write directories exist okay and make it true. This means if directory already exists, it's true and I want to override it. But if I see here write false or not specify this parameter at all, my Python will raise an error. And I will also print done. Let's run the code. It says done, so it looks like it's okay. Let's see if I actually created that folder, and here is the folder. If I open it, I indeed have 5 txt files, the same one as in this folder here. So this works. Third very useful module is subprocess module. It's used for running terminal commands and scripts outside of your Python program. So let's say I import this subprocess and I want to check what Python version am I right now, but I don't want to check it via command prompt. I want to check it with my Python. In that case, I can run subprocess.run and here pass a list of arguments. First will be Python, after Python version. And now when I run this code, I should see what kind of version my Python runs. As you can see, it says Python 3.12.6, and I didn't run it via terminal, but via Python. Also, if I haven't mentioned until now, write down in the comments below if you want a detailed tutorial on some of these modules. Next module is schedule module, and as its name says, it's used for scheduling. So for example, let's import the schedule module, schedule, and I will also import the time module. And let's say I will schedule my module for every, here write the number, it has to be an integer, as you can see int1. And then here you can write seconds, or you can write minutes, for example, as you can see. So I'll write here seconds. And I want it to do what function. And here, most of the time, you'll pass some lambda function, or maybe a function you created. So here I write lambda and print task running. And let's run this every 2 seconds. And here I'll write try while true and call schedule.run pending. This ensures that this schedule runs. And also I'll write time.sleep 1 second. And if I catch an exception here, I write except keyboard interrupt print done. So every 2 seconds I should see task running. Let's run the code to see if it works. 1, 2, I see task running. 1, 2, and task running. And that happens every 2 seconds. When I click this red here, that's actually keyboard interrupt, and that is why this done is printed. So this works. There's a lot of things you can do with your schedule, and I will show that later, but this is just a sneak peek, so you can see how useful it actually is. Another very useful module that there is even a book about it is called Selenium. It's used best for some browser searches. So for example, I will import my Selenium, and from Selenium I'll import web driver, and also from Selenium I will not only Selenium but Selenium web driver and common by import class by, and then I'll create driver equals webdriver.chrome because I want to open Google Chrome. Then from driver I want to get, and here you can pass what link you want to go to. In my case I want to go to https://google.com, and then in my Google I want to find, so right here driver.find element, search it by name. This means I want to find the attribute name, and the value I'm looking for in that attribute name is q. And when I find this, I want to write send underscore keys, and for example here write Python automation. And if I want to stay at that Google, I need to include some timer sleep. So I'll write here import time and write time.sleep for 10 seconds. Now when I run the code, you should see a Google open and this Python automation typed. Let's run the code to see if that works. As you can see, Google is opening and Python automation is opened. Let's wait for 10 seconds to close. And after 10 seconds, it's closed. And here I see process finished with exit code 0, which means no error occurred. Selenium was best for automating your browser actions, but if you want some other actions, not only browser actions, for example, mouse movements or keyboard writing, typing, whatever, you need to use module named PyAutoGUI interface. And here, let me show you how you can move your mouse. For example, here I can write PyAutoGUI.move to, and here specify x and y coordinate. Let's write 0.0 and write the duration to be 1. And now when I run my code, you should see my mouse moving from the center of the screen until here somewhere. Let's run the code to see. As you can see, my mouse moved until the end of the screen. There's actually infinity number of things you can do with this PyAutoGUI module. It's very interesting. If you want, I can make a full tutorial about it. And because you stayed until the last module, I want to show you a very special module that can help you with live updates. And it's called watchdog module. So I'll create a mini script that will tell me whenever I create a file or a folder in my current folder. So let's write here from watchdog.observers. I want to import observer class. That is a special object that will allow me to observe something. And also from watchdog.events, I want to import file system event, but file system event handler. And I will also import time. And now I'll create my own class, name it my handler, and here pass file system event handler. So this is the base class from which my file handler will inherit from. And here I will create def on created. You see, here I want to override this function. And here I'll write print new file, and here pass what I want to print, which is event.search path. And this will print me the path in which I created my file. And that's it. I've created my file handler. Now I want to create observer object. So here I'll write observer equals observer class. And I want to tell observer.schedule which means I want to tell my observer to observe, and here I need to pass how it should observe, who is going to handle that observation, that is my handler class, and where I should observe, what is the path that I should observe. In my case, it is the current folder, so right here, dot. Also, maybe my folder has folders inside. Should I also check if I created some folders, some new files and folders inside those folders? If that is true and I want to look for that, I'll write recursive to be true. But if that is not the case, I'll here write false. Let's keep it false, and I will show you the difference in a minute. Also, right here, observer.start, if I want to start my observation. And now I will try while true, right here, time.sleep for 1 second. Because if I don't write any sleep, my program may crash because it will run as fast as it possibly can. And again, I want to stop, except when I see my keyboard interrupt. When that happens, I want my observer to stop. But this is not enough usually. Usually, you also want to write observer.join. This means wait for the thread to end, and then you can continue your program. Let's run the code to see if it works. So my code is now running. I will open my project here and try and create some new file. For example, I'll create new txt file and name it 0.txt. As you can see, here I have new file 0.txt is created. But if I try and create a file inside this txt here, for example, t6.txt, nothing is happening here because I said I don't want to look for folders inside folders. But if I stop my code, go here and change this recursive parameter to true and run the code now, and inside this txt file I create t7.txt, now it works. Now I have a whole path. Current folder, then txt's folder, and inside txt folder, t7 file. But of course, this will work even if we create files outside of here. So right here, 1.txt in my main folder. And as you can see, it works even then. If you found this video useful, I recommend you check my playlist on automation projects, where you can find how I use some of these modules in this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more Python videos.